Hey everyone, my name is Dave Pluff, and this video has been made expressly for my review committee. In this video, what I'd like to do is walk you through the Canvas setup for each of my classes, both Art 101 and Art 312. So let's go ahead and head over to the Canvas site, and I'll show you exactly what I do. And so here we are on my dashboard. You can see from the classes here that I did teach using Canvas last semester as well. I've used Canvas at the community college level already for about 3 years, and I have taken all the training at Cal State Fullerton for the intermediate level of Canvas. So I'm very well prepared for teaching in this platform. And especially when we're looking at online teaching, Canvas is really the best platform compared to our Moodle site that we had before. So this is one of my Art 101 classes for the spring semester. So once students click onto their class, they're taken to this page, which is the home or syllabus page, and you have a banner that welcomes them to the course, lets them know I'm the instructor, and that they can click on the Modules tab at left to access the course information, and that's right over here. They can also, on this page, download a course syllabus. The complete course syllabus is right here. Or you can also have a link to the Administrative Materials module. I'll show you that in just a moment. And that has the syllabus broken down into its various parts. I always make the syllabus page the home page because this also has all the information for their projects that are coming up that are due. So I'm going to take you over to the modules page. And each module is 1 week of course material. So down here at the bottom, I've got Module 1. It's going to go all the way up to Module 17, which of course is our finals week. And up top of that is the Administrative Materials module. The reason I have this set up this way is that each time that I publish one of these modules, it will be at the top. So for instance, right now, I have Module 1 and Module 2 published. You can tell that by the check mark over here at the right. Module 3 is going to be published this weekend, and once I do that, on the student's view, they're not going to be able to see any of the unpublished modules. So the most current module is always at the top. One exception, I keep the Administrative Materials module on top of all of those. This is all the information that I have for them in terms of how the class runs. I've also created a video for them that they can access that has me reading all of the documents that are in this module. However, if they want to take a look at it themselves, I have the course syllabus, lecture schedule, the late policy, RGE learning goals, an emergency procedures notice. The application of design principles is how I grade their art project. So it's basically a rubric. I have a list of art supplies and stores because I do integrate art projects into my 101 class. I think that's one of the most important components, is to actually create art instead of just reading about it. And then I've also got our textbook information, a little bit about me and about your instructor page, and also just a reminder on netiquette. As far as the modules go, I've got them basically set up in the same way in each module. So we're going to open up Module 2. And we've got some main heading things here. Welcome to Module 2. I have a video that I produce every week that walks them through the module and talks about what I'm going to be teaching them for the week. Then I have an overview. And the overview gives a summary of the material I'm going to cover, a couple of the objectives I'd like them to learn, and also a reminder about the activities that they need to complete for the week. After that, I've got the lecture topics. This week we're covering 2 topics. It's going to be space and the illusion of space, and also motion and the illusion of motion. So for our lecture, this class is taught asynchronously. I do have a recorded lecture here, and it runs the exact same amount of time as it would in a normal class. So they always have access to this. And then I do provide them with a study guide. So the study guide is, of course, a list of terms and images from the lectures to help them study for the midterm. and they're usually placed in order of how the terms and images appear throughout the lecture. There's also a correlation between the images as well as the terms. So, for instance, this last image here, Relativity by M.C. Escher, if we scroll back up, this deals with multi-point perspective. So they go in order, there's correlation, there is method to my madness, in other words. And I've also got some supporting videos that I would normally play in class, but since I can't add them to my actual lecture because of copyright reasons, I do have them separate, and they just have to click on it and watch the video when I tell them to in the other video. And they can always, again, come back to these later on during this semester. I also have a further exploration section in each of my modules, and it helps out students who are really interested in specific topics. So, for instance, in this lecture, I talk about motion with nude descending a staircase, which is an image on top of an image on top of an image. And so this kind of breaks it down. Jackson Pollock painting filmed by Hans Nemeth, and we talk about action painting as well during the motion chapter. Each week I do have an assessment for students to complete. I keep in touch with them every single week. They do have something that is required that they turn in every Sunday by 3 p.m. And this is the assignment here. Everything is turned in via Canvas, and I've got our goal, our required media needed to complete the project, step-by-step instructions, examples of completed projects. We're learning how to do linear perspective here. This is the basic idea of what I'm asking for is 7 or 8 two-dimensional forms turned into three-dimensional forms. However, I always suggest that they go a little bit above and beyond and definitely add color. And of course, if they have nothing to do over the weekend, I always suggest that they have the chance of creating something really awesome. My general projects are accompanied with a rubric as well, and I do use the rubric for grading. Not only do I have written instructions for them, but back up here in the Module 2 video, I also show them step by step how to create these objects, and I show them past projects of students from previous semesters. I do have a PowerPoint here of, once again, a step-by-step going through how to create linear perspective. I did produce this one here, and how linear perspective works by the Khan Academy and Smart History. Just another idea for them to see and to witness if they have struggles with the way I teach linear perspective. I always think it's good to have multiple points of view. So that is it for our Art 101 class. I'm just going to briefly go over an Art 312 course since I have a modernism image on top of that. And it's the same type of thing, welcoming them to the class, saying the projects that are due. The modules are set up in the exact same way with the administrative material module up at the top and then the weekly modules down below. So this week we're going to be into Module 2 here. We're just finishing this up. Once again, I have a welcome video and I walk them through everything that they need to do for the week. I've got our overview. This is a live class. This is a synchronous class that I teach every day from basically 4 to 7. I have office hours for my classes every Friday morning, 9 to noon. I have a link here as well as on TitanNet. The lecture topics covered this week were photography, where I spent about an hour and a half covering this material. I also have a backup lecture for them if someone misses the class or needs to go back to this material. And we also had a film this week of My Kid Could Paint That. I've got a movie guide, which is exactly the same as a lecture study guide. And the assessment materials this week were a high impact practice class. So they needed to download the Fullerton app. We had also our high impact practice pre-assessment. And then for their first general education writing requirement. I just wanted to get that out of the way early on in the semester, and it's a response paper to one of 3 prompts that are about the movie, and then they're going to submit that for me. Their second GE writing requirement is going to be a much more substantial research paper, roughly a 5-page research paper. So once again, further exploration material, and that is basically how I have my Canvas site set up. I hope I was able to answer any questions you might have had about my course setup.